as partners or in marriage or relationships, you have to also realize that you cannot be everything to each other, right? Hence why we have family, extended family. Hence why we have friends. So that moment where your partner just says, I want to go hang out with the boys, or I want to go see my brother or my sister for the ladies. As a partner, we have to be very understanding of that.
The motherland, the African man. Long as I'm alive, I'ma make a plan. Strongholds to break, got long walks to take. Got no votes to make, but don't bet, we pray. Hey, African man, yeah. The African male iris through the eye of an African male.
Okay, I've got a question that I'd like to throw back to the audience, because this for us is very exciting, because we get to discuss. We do this when we shoot. We do this when we're having drinks. We do this on the phone. So we always have conversations. Yeah. But I heard some really interesting perspectives, and I'd like to ask, especially because we have a lot of women in the building, how do you, and when I say you, I mean like as an individual, because it's not a generic thing, like how do you create a safe space for your man to be able to express himself? Like, how do you do it? I would like 4 women to respond to this in their individualities.
That's assuming that they do. Thank you so much, Prayer.
Assuming that you do. If you don't, then you say, I'm actually here to learn how to. You can be like, no thanks, I'm actually here to learn how that thing is done.
It's also okay to comment on how you don't.
Yes.
How you don't. Like, listen, I cause havoc. When my man come home,
I don't want
late,
peace.
I don't want peace. Yes. I don't want peace. You were supposed to be here at 7 o'clock. It's 2 minutes past 7. Where are you coming from? I don't want peace. All right, cool. Do I have any hands going up for this one? How do we create a safe space? How do you create a safe space?
There are no hands going up.
For your man, right? Olivia, yes? Yeah. All right, Olivia's there. She's like, yeah, I've been there before. I've done this. I've lost one. Here we go.
Yeah, like Leroy said, I've got experience. I have a PhD. Almost professor. No, so, since my experience and going back into the whole space of relationships, because I was married for 10 years, and then now going back into being in a relationship. Oh, I must stand. Okay. I think since I went back into the space of relationships, right, this person said to me, look, my love language, and people talk about, I didn't know men knew about love languages until he said, I have a love language. I'm like, oh, you read the book too?
He's self-aware.
And he was like, my love language is words of affirmation. And he said to me, I want peace. I don't want noise. If you have a problem with me, ask me. And I am now actively in a space whereby I'm like, I affirm him. I remind him of the great things that he does. I remind him of the great man that he does, because he also came out of a very traumatic situation. So we're 2 people who are dealing with our own traumas from the past, but I'm like, I don't want to give this person a space whereby he is constantly, in his combative mode. He needs to know, when I'm with this girl, I can be completely vulnerable. And I try by all means by asking him about his day, texting him. I mean, I'm not a texter, but I text this man, and he's like, okay, girl, I'm going to talk to MTM to cut off your data because this is a bit much. Right. But before, I never used to. But because I know that this person thrives off being told that they're a good person, they're working hard, they're not making mistakes, and that if they do make mistakes, mistakes are okay, and that they're not being persecuted for that. And I find many women, we persecute our men for the smallest little thing. Oh my gosh, you looked at my mother the wrong way. Why did you do that to my mother? You refuse, you say, how dare you send an Uber to go pick up my mother from the airport? How? I'm working. Your mother arrived on a Wednesday at 10:30 in the morning. I'm in a meeting. I can't go pick up your mom. So I'm doing the next best thing. So I have found a way whereby I try actively not to persecute this person for small, mundane, stupid things, whereby if he comes to me with the same thing, I'll be like, listen here, I do boxing 3 times a week. Don't mess with me, So it's about being intentional with your person. It's about being intentional about knowing if I do this to him, it's going to set him off. So I need to avoid that. And people say, oh, Olivia, that's so much work. Why are you doing that?
Relationships are work.
But relationships are work. Exactly, Claire. Relationships are a lot of work, and it's not just from the man's side. Because as women, I believe many women think that it's just Tino who must do everything. He must make me feel good. He must buy me flowers. What about Tino? Tino also wants flowers. Buy Tino flowers, please.
She does.
Oh, Tino just said white roses. So that's a free. He just said yes, white roses.
It's not just flowers from men to women. It's also flowers from women to men. For men, it may not be literal flowers. It could be a bottle of his favorite whiskey. It could be a pair of his favorite socks. Buy him a tie. Take him out to dinner. If he
No
plays
more socks.
golf-
No more socks. No more
No
socks.
socks, please.
You're doing great. Let's take it away. Let's give Olivia a round of applause. When you got to socks and ties there, we were like, no, give me the mic. Give me that mic. Anyone else? All right, cool. We're going to take, let's go. Okay, Tash, we heard from you earlier. Let's go back to this gentleman in the front. Your name, sir, please.
I'm Tawanda. Let me stand. So I just didn't want to leave without saying anything because I think you're winding down. Right?
You're actually fine where you were.
Okay, I'm fine. All right.
Then you can just turn halfway. Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
So it's a good question, Prayer, for bringing it out there. I think the reason why you're not seeing a lot of hands from women is because I want to ask a question, a very profound question. I mean, why do women say, I want to try? As a man, just by blood, when you wake up in the morning, that you have to provide for your family. Why do women have to try to be submissive or to know their place, to keep their men comfortable because you just come home from work, hard day at work? Why do they need to try? We wake up and we know we need to provide. If you can provide, you provide.
Right.
If you can't, you push every day. Why do women need to try? I mean, for me, I think that question, it's a good question, but I just feel women will never change when it comes to that. Because I'm so sorry.
No, don't apologize, bro. It's our month. It's our month, bro.
Yes, we have to be
It's
open.
our month, bro. Don't apologize.
The thing is, the way it comes out from my head and the way it comes out from my mouth.
No, I get it. I get it.
We are logical. We're very logical, yeah.
I'm just speaking for myself. When I wake up in the morning, I'm thinking, okay, there's this work I need to do because I need to pay this, and that. And that's what I've been taught as a man to do. From the time I was a little boy, from the time my dad, my uncles, everything. So I know it by heart.
Right.
So it's just it just doesn't make sense. For
I
me.
actually
I
have a
agree.
response. I actually have a response for you. Sorry. Slim.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Sorry. Are you done?
No, not really.
Okay.
You just cut me short.
Sorry.
And again, like,
Go ahead,
like
bro.
we can't multitask. We know that we can't
Yes,
multitask. So
yes,
I've kind of
yes,
lost
yes.
it.
Sure.
So just give me five seconds.
Okay.
So my answer to men is that you make that environment for yourself in your household. Your woman is not going to make that happen.
Right.
The way you make that happen is just as small. You do self-love. If you feel you're doing a good job, tell yourself consistently that you're doing a good job. If you're not getting it from your wife, don't go look for it outside. Because the same thing, once that woman becomes your wife, she's going to go back to how wives are.
Right.
Right? So I feel your wife will see it from your actions, the way you self-love yourself.
Right.
You wake up in the morning, you go jog. One day, 2 days. Next day, you'll be like, babe, let's go jog together. She starts seeing it coming from you. I don't think she's going to make that environment comfortable for you. I
Right.
think you need to start
Right.
making things happen in your own household. Don't ever think you're going to find it outside.
I think there's,
at
I
the
think
same
there's,
time.
two, I think there's, I think a round of applause. That deserves a round of applause.
That's awesome.
I feel like there's two very profound things that Tawanda's brought up. The first thing is there are some women who will not be able to create that environment for you. And so you're stuck because they just can't do it and they won't do it. Maybe for one reason or the other. Either they can't, they don't know how to do it, they haven't started seeing the need for it, or they don't even see that it's a problem, or they think you're the problem, or they think something else is the problem. And so it's important to be able to always look inwardly for the things that you need sometimes. Not that it's the solution. Because, I mean, if it's a partnership and we call each other partners, then it means that you have to bring something to the table when I bring something to the table. And that's the reason why it's called a partnership. Because it's two different parts that are supposed to actually contribute something to it. I think the second thing is this. The nature of
Before
women.
you go on to the second point,
Yeah.
isn't that a matter of finding the right partner? As I don't remember who mentioned that. But
Okay,
isn't that
so-
a matter of finding the right partner, such that the support that she gives you comes to her naturally?
Okay, that's actually part of my second point.
All right.
I don't know about the concept of right partner, to be honest, because like what Tino said, that sometimes you need to understand that you're not going to get everything you need from your partner, right?
Indeed.
So sometimes what then happens is you might get 80% of what you need from her. And maybe the 20% is you looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, bro, you know what? You actually tried. You did a good job. Go to the gym and then start working on yourself, right? And maybe the 20% is the thing that you are actually supposed to do. And maybe the 20% that you're so tired of looking for from your partner becomes something you give yourself. And when you give yourself, maybe then that becomes the lesson that she needed to learn that, oh, he needs this. And I wasn't doing it. So maybe let me try and do it. Because if you start going to the gym and then the day you skip, she will be like, babe, are you going to the gym? And you're like, I'm feeling a little lazy. She's like, no, but your biceps. And the moment a female voice says your biceps, you're like, guys.
I'm going.
You know what I mean? So I think that what we need to do is firstly understand ourselves. That's why the self-awareness thing for me is always
Such
a big thing, because sometimes you always need to look within yourself and say, okay, what is it that I can do for me right now? You know? And not always be in a position to want to get. The second thing that I think is very profound about what Tawanda said is that the roles of men and women and the way we are wired is completely different. So when you expect when a woman says, I'm going to try and do something, and you think, but it's already my duty. Like, why is it a duty for me, but it's a try for you, right? Like, it's lighter for the women. It's because of the nature of men. You know, I was watching another podcast, and I remember someone say something about when the difference between men and women and how we love. He said, men love deeper than women do. And all the women were like, okay, let's hear it. You know what I mean? Do not understand. They're doing it now. He was like, bro, they're doing it now. And you know what? And that's exactly the reaction that he got. And then he said, let me break it down. So, let me break it down. So this guy then says, when a woman thinks about love and a relationship, when they think about, I need to find someone who's going to be my husband, right? It could be anyone, because they could see it work with prayer. Because prayer's like this and like that and whatever. So they kind of have a scoreboard. He's funny, he's good looking, he can sing, whatever, right? And then prayer starts saying the right things. Prayer starts doing the right things. And then prayer's scoreboard goes up. You know, I have a lot of sisters, female friends and whatever. And when they talk, the scoreboard, it's always, yeah, there are these 3 guys who like me. But hey, these days, this guy. And everyone's like, what is he doing? Tell us, you know? And that's how women are. That's not how men are. When a man feels like he's falling in love, this is the reaction that he gives. Shit. Because he has no option. He's stuck. He feels like it's his duty to love that woman and give her everything. It's not a scoreboard thing anymore. It's not what she does or what she doesn't do. It's, I need to love her and I cannot be without her. And that's what men do. That's not what women do. That's the difference.
Go. All right. Thank you, Prayer Soul. We want to bring it back to the floor.
Right.
I like what you said, though, about the 80-20 part. Yeah, you flipped it a little bit there, but it was nice. That 20% that you got to work on yourself.
Yes.
You know, in a relationship. And I think that 20 is very important because a lot of the time, I think also in the same tone and in the same token, that 20 is that part where we're going, but my woman never says this, or my woman never does this, or my woman never. That 20 is on you, bruh. You know? And a lot of the time, I think sometimes we negate what it is that we're also supposed to do for ourselves, within ourselves, and to realize for ourselves.
Right.
You know, your woman can't do that 100%. She can't come through 100%.
Right.
You know, you've got to see and go, okay, even if she's not meeting you at the very point that you needed to meet at, you've also got to understand maybe at that point she also might be going through something. And if she is, one of the toughest things that happened to me, this is my beautiful wife, everybody. Kelletso. This happened to my wife and I 5 years ago. We both went through like a really difficult time individually, to a point where I can't help her and she can't help me. I couldn't even turn to her and say, baby, I need you to be here, because I could see, I was like, oh man. So we really, I think if anything, and you are still together, I think that is one of the toughest things that can happen to you in a relationship, where you are going through your own personal, as a man, you're going through your own thing. As a woman, she's going through her own thing. And so what she needs from you as a man, you're going, yeah, I can, but you're not even bringing the full package of what she needs. You know what I mean? And vice versa. And so if you can really, as men, I want to encourage a lot of men in that I know, I speak from experience, that's one of the most difficult places to be as a man, where even when your woman's looking at you and going, listen, you're the head of the home, you're the provider, you're like, hit it, you know, like, do the things that you need to do. And you're like, you know, and you're struggling through that, you know. And years later to be able to look back and go, shucks, that was some crazy time. That's on you as well as a man to look back on. All right, we're going to go to Tash, and then to you, my lady, and to you, Mfundis.
Thank you. So I think there were 2 points that were touched on. Please indulge me. On the how do you create a safe space for your man? I think one of the most important things, as the guys were saying, that, you know, have your own self-awareness. And I think more so for us as women, because we rely on happiness from our partners. We think they are supposed to do everything for us. And when we can't fill our own tank, then we're expecting the next person to be that to us, when they don't even know how to be that for themselves. So how do I expect somebody else to be what I can't be to myself? So being aware of yourself, what triggers you, what makes you happy, those things, once you're able to find your space in that, you can then actually be able to create a safe space, because you know what that looks like for yourself, and you're like, oh, okay, now I can be cognizant of my partner and their needs. This is what they like, this is what they don't like. So when they're in this mood, this is how I approach a situation. And so even if you know that there's a pressing issue that you need to discuss, and they walk in the home and you can see that he's had a rough day today, you're not gonna come and be like, and then your mom did this, and then no. It can wait. Even if it waits a month, nothing is going to break. And I had to learn that. So being aware of that, you are then able to give it to somebody else. And I think that's how, for me personally, I think that's the safest way to create a safe space for somebody else. And then point number 2, where my brother Tawanda talked about submission. I think for me, that has to do with submission and love. We can't talk about submission and safe space without talking about love. Because love and submission, they actually have to, it's an interchange, it's an exchange. You can't expect submission from me without pouring love. And how I had to learn this was looking at a relationship between a man and a woman as a farmer and land. The farmer pours seed into the land, and the analogy that I'll give you is, if you take seed, cotton, gokwe, we know bumper harvest, right? You're going to get your bumper harvest of cotton because the environment is right. You've poured in the right nutrients in that soil. You've taken care of it. So ultimately, submission and love starts with the head, and that is the man. What you feed the woman is what she gives you, because a woman by nature is a womb. And so everything that you are going to do as a man, you're going to reap. So if you do not put enough fertilizer, you don't water, then your crop is going to die, right? Because the land is not receiving what it needs for it to produce the bumper harvest that you're going to get from. This is why the Bible then would say, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Why? Because when God blesses that marriage, he's ultimately blessing the womb. So anything that comes out of my mouth as a woman, best believe that it's going to come out 10 times, whether it's good or it's bad. So if we get to understand that part, that whatever you are going to put as a man, you are going to receive. If you love the woman right, she has no choice. Yes. Thank you.
Subtitles.
But one thing that I learned, and I thought I had a problem with submission, I realized I didn't have a problem with submission. I needed someone to submit to. And that is a big thing. Because if you don't give me the environment to, by nature, I'm a strong personality. I'm strong-willed. So I'm going to bulldoze my way. But if you give me the environment to say, I've got you, I'm your safe space as the king of the home, I have no choice but to back off. I have no choice. But the reason why women end up not submitting is because we have that sixth sense that tells us stuff. So we are quick on it. Before you get to know stuff, I'm like, I know you're cheating. I haven't caught you, but I know. Why? Because we are wired that way. We know things. We know things. And so that gives me a better advantage. But when you as a man give me an environment where you say, you are safe with me, I don't even have to play detective. I know I can submit to that because the authority that you have already, it's yours. I'm not fighting for it. It's yours.
Right.
Just take it up and do the right thing.
Thank you, Tash. All right.
All right.
Hey, the room went quiet there for a second.
Yes, because we want to say a lot of
turn the
things.
volume up, sister, turn the volume up. All the guys are sitting there going, ish. That's deep, man. that one hit home, gents. Am I right, gents?
Absolutely.
It hit home, right? But it hit home.
Absolutely.
I think it hit home. It hit the right button, because the reason I say that personally. I say that personally for me. Let me not speak for everyone in the room. We are coming to you. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm bringing the mic to you. Don't worry. You are the next one speaking. So the reason why I'm saying I agree with that is because I think it's also important as men. To create the right environment for your woman to thrive. Yeah. I think that's what I took from what Natasha said. You know, is that, you know, as a man, if you have a home, you create the right environment for your woman to thrive. Not speaking for myself, but just to throw a spanner in the works. I love the analogy of the soil, but sometimes you try and farm in the wrong soil, and you're thinking, but I'm such a great farmer, man.
That's what
There's
I'm
nothing
saying.
wrong with you as a farmer.
That is a good
You're
point.
just not farming in Gokwe. The wrong fertilizer.
Exactly.
Okay, my name is Joella. I'm French speaking, so my English is not as perfect as yours, but I will try to bring across my my viewpoint. Okay, submission does not have anything to do with an environment to submit to me. I think for me, it's most about people get into relationship and into marriages without having the right knowledge of their roles, their place in that relationship, what to do and what not to do. You don't submit to a man because it gives you the environment to submit. You have to submit because that's what you have to do. Amen. You know, when we speak about a man being the head of a relationship, it's not that the man is more valuable than a woman in a relationship. You know, the Bible, even Paul came to that understanding to say, in society, the reason why we vote for presidents of countries is not because the president of this country is more valuable than any other person, who has more value or price than any other person. Is about to make the society to work. So for God, he says, if a man and a woman find themselves in a relationship, the man will be the head of that relationship. Therefore, if he is the head of that relationship, you have to submit to his authority. So, like, I am the head of this relationship. You see, not because I'm more valuable than her or I'm more important than her. It's because of the order in the house, the order in the relationship, the order in the society that we say, Cyril Ramaphosa, you are our president and we're going to submit to your authority. The same in a marriage. So as a woman, you have to submit. It is a must. It's not about him being a best provider. No, it is his position. God put him in that position. I'm not the head of every woman in this room. No, I'm equal to every woman in this room, but I am not equal to her. I'm her head.
Amen, Pastor.
Do you get that? So
You
she
hear the pastor
has
voice.
to submit. I mean, bring that environment to note. It is a duty, as it is my duty to love her. So I can't say, because you are not submissive to me, I'm not going to love her. I love her. Even if she's not submissive to me, I have to love her. It's my duty to love her. And to love her unconditionally. You see? So now, I want to say something to the brother view. What do you do as a man the day you can't provide? Because life can happen. Life happens. So my position in my house or in my relationship is not just to be a provider. Because my wife or my mother was a provider. Provider of what? Of love. Not of food. My father was working, going to work every day. But he could not give me love. My father never provided love for me. My mother provided love for me. My father could pay the bill, but my mother was a provider. So for me, these things of a man saying, if I can't provide money in my relationship or my family, I'm not a man enough. That is not true. Because I can be the best financial provider of my home today, and tomorrow life happen. And she become the provider. Do I lose my position in that relationship? No. You see? Yeah. But I have to find something else. What can I do? If I can't bring money, what can I bring to this relationship? I will give you an example. The president of Congo today. His wife worked as a nurse in Belgium for more than 25 years. He didn't have a job. He was a politician. A politician, you make money only when you're in power. If you're not in power, you don't make money. The guy never paid bills for 25 years. But that woman stayed, provided, because he believed in the dream of the husband. And today, that woman has a handbag that costs half of $1 million. It didn't provide for 20, 30 years of their marriage, but is the best provider today. She goes around the world in private jets. So, for me, the providing part in a relationship, and I've seen this through 25 years of ministries. I've seen women coming to me, he says, I'm the only one providing, I'm working. Hey, he thinks, why are you not providing for your wife? He says, my things are not working. And I will say to that woman, God wants you to play that role in that relationship today. Do it and make sure that this man does not feel left out. Because the table will change one day. The day God put something on his hands, this man will treat you the way that you are treating him. So if a man cannot provide today, it does not mean that he's not a man enough and he will never provide tomorrow. So that's what I wanted to say.
Nice.
Thank you to all. That's fire, eh?
Yeah.
That's like just turning the flames up. There's even conversations happening in the background whilst you're still talking. They're like, are you listening? Are you listening? It's people like nudging their husbands on the side and wives on the side like, hey, baby. Listen to Joel. Listen to Joel. All right, cool. We're going to take one more and then we'll bring it back to the front. Hi, how are you? Are you ready or not? Like it detoured. What you wanted to say took detours. So, is that your guy? Yeah. You're like, baby, take over.
I'll speak on behalf of my wife. I think okay. I'm answering to the first initial question that Prayer highlighted. So I feel my point is, I feel as a man, it is your role to effectively communicate what you want from your partner.
Sorry,
so,
would you please come this way from me a little bit? Very close to the speaker. Yeah. Oh, from there, you're hundreds.
Okay, maybe I can stand here. So my point is short. What I wanted to say was, it is your duty and your role to effectively communicate to your partner what you want.
Amen.
The first thing also is to get to understand your person. You can never be, when you get to a job, they make you do those psychometric tests and everything. They're trying to understand how you tick, who you are. I strongly suggest that, as couples, get to understand each other's personalities. What I learned personally from my experience is, we took a personality test with my wife, and then she loves reading. She's an introvert. She loves reading. And every time she draws to herself and she would go to the second lounge and start reading, or I'll think, what did I do? and I think she's angry. I come, baby, are you okay? She says, I'm okay. And but you're not fine. But then after that, after getting to understand that she finds joy in pulling into herself, that also made me, that made us, get closer. And even when I communicate to her, she says, baby, my love language is physical touch. For me, walking around, holding her, it's not in my nature. That's not how I grew up. So I had to learn and rewire myself, because she communicated to me that, baby, when we are, anyway, when I feel your touch somewhere, I know you are close to me, I feel safe. So it is up to you to effectively communicate to your partner. And it is also like what my sister said, that when you communicate, the timing should always be perfect. Don't, when kids are running around, find good time, go out on a date, after chit-chatting, everything is nice. Like, baby, that day when you're angry, what were you angry about? I'm like, baby, I was just, hey, baby, how are you?
I was so hungry.
Angry so
I was
easily.
just hungry.
You see, so that's how slowly you get to understand your person. And also, you as an individual, take time when your person is saying something to you to listen. Listening is a very crucial component in a relationship. So when I'm a very close person, I didn't like opening up to her for maybe, I think year 7. That's when we started opening up. So I would say something, she would kind of not understand, you're not receiving it, so I won't give it to her. So next time when I understand that she's listening, and she's listening to the intent of wanting to get to know me, that's how you create that safe environment as a man or as a woman, so that your person can understand you better, so that, it gets better for your relationship.
Thank you, Squire. Thank you. I like that. Get to know the person you're with. Get to know them better. And even sometimes the differences between you are actually okay. We must learn to embrace the differences within us. And I can relate to you. Like, I'm very talkative. I've got no problem with crowds. You can put me in a room like this and I don't know anyone. I can walk in here and I can leave with everybody here going, what's your number, bro? Is Masuka? Yeah, sure. Whereas my wife is like, please don't. Hey. So to have her here, sitting here now, I'm sure at some point it's like, what time are we finishing? Even I've been checking on her now, like, baby, are you okay? Baby, are you okay? Because I know, you know what I mean? But also at the same time, I appreciate this moment because she knows, you know what, I'm here because I'm going to support you because I know you're hosting this thing. You know, so that means a lot to me. The fact that she's even had to fight something for her that is not in a norm for her. So she's had to step out of her norm to go, listen, I love you. I'm going to come back you up. I'm going to step out of my norm. So I agree with you. It's important to know the person that you're with so that you can appreciate and you can be there for that person. Before we go to the table, we're going to come to you. All right, Tawanda, who's this next to you?
We haven't
Just strangers.
Hey, bro, that's Rick's girl.
That's Rex's wife.
Oh, that's Rex's wife.
Yeah.
Oh,
And he goes to the gym.
I'm just asking, you know what I mean? Because Rex sitting out there, he's like, I'm sure he's like, I'm taking a break from my wife. And I was like, it's good. Anyway, it's all good.
He's like, I go to the gym.
So I think one of the things I see people, one of the things I notice people don't discuss in the space of submission is that women, I'm from a generation where we were never taught about how to relate to men in relationships. And growing up in my youth, if I can say that, I was raised to go study, get a good job, be a womandla, right? So we were never raised in the space of being soft and feminine. I don't know if you get me.
Yeah.
So women, I think, are in spaces where they can't recognize that we can let go and trust the space we are in with our partners. So we get caught up on, you don't submit. And ask yourself, why is that? Because she's been conditioned to be the head of her life.
To be independent.
Despite of having a good man, they butt heads because they kind of are occupying the same space. So I think that's one thing we need to unlearn. It's because of the conditioning women have had. So for me, it's just about women have to unlearn certain things because I think both men and women are recognizing a lot of things about themselves. Hence, there's this, push and pull between us right now. I think, we need to be cognizant of the influences that are happening in our lives.
Wow.
Well said. Well said. I think it's at that point that I've seen most women going, I love the whole concept of unlearning and coming into the process of things. However, I just want to throw a little spark into that. When it comes to unlearning things, there's things that we know that are really awesome about ourselves, that are really amazing, even lessons, even that strength that you speak of as a woman. It's not a matter of unlearning it entirely, if I can just jump in there. I don't think it's a matter of unlearning it entirely, because you see, that strength that you have for you as a woman is crucial when it comes to certain particular points. I'll give you a very simple example between my wife and I. Because I'm an entertainer, and when contractors come to our house and they have to do work there, they see me, they think, he's got money, this was on TV. All right, so the price changes. So the time I'm like, baby, listen, deal with these guys. It's not that I'm not man enough to deal with them, but it's because I know that if she negotiates with them, she's gonna handle the discount well. You understand? Nobody's gonna try and go, okay, it's 15,000 when it's really supposed to be 10. If they see her, I know she's most probably come back and go, it's 8. Right? It'll come from 15. But if she was to dim that strength about her as a woman and go, but my man is supposed to be doing this, that means we've lost 4,000. You get what I'm saying? So I know that's a little bit tricky of an example, but just to give that as an example in context of what you were saying, that entirely of everything
that you do know about yourself and that is the strength of you as a woman, where you go, I've been raised to be this strong of a woman. Don't dim that light completely to go right in art of submission or in art of I'm now in this or in art of that. Because that strength is also critical within that part of life, that journey of life that you're going through.
I agree, but I think it's in the approach.
Yeah, maybe in the approach, I'm with you.
When I'm a provider and I don't like how he provides.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We could both be making money, but your negotiating skills won't be the same as hers. Could be softer, but you approach it like a man.
Yes. But you see, that's what, if we know, like we know, you see, like I think if we know, if you know, if like I agree, if you know, like, okay, this is where you're gonna come in with that strength of yours, that's cool. You know, like I'll tell you, if we walk in a restaurant, my wife and I, my wife knows at this moment, this is the point where I ain't saying nothing. Because I'm gonna walk in and be like, we need this table. It has to be like this. My wife needs to be warm. Blah, blah. She ain't saying nothing because she knows, okay, cool. Speak your English, baby. Speak your English. You know what I mean? Or there's certain clients that will come. I'm gonna take this moment to just advertise for our chili. We do chili together. By the way, if you want the best chili in Joburg, please hit us up.
Right.
It's called Sebabang, homemade African flames. So we do chili together. There's certain clients that we come across and we will know. She will see. Like if we're doing a festival, there's certain people who come there and she'll be like, baby, these are your people. Do your thing. And I'll do my thing. And then now I also see certain people, I'm like, baby, these are your clients. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Just as an example, we know what our strengths are. So I think even as we are going in life, as we're going that, you know, it's important just to help. There is that point where you are going to, you know, but I think that's the point where it comes, sit down with your person and go, listen, I am strong like this. And I'm not good at this. You know, there's times even I've gone to my wife and I've told her, baby, I'm not strong at this. And she's also going, no, man, you should be strong. I'm like, no, I know I should be, but I'm not. You are. Can you do it? All right? Let's take it back to the table over there to the front.
My bad.
Can we take one more?
Yep.
Let's take one more.
Okay. So I'm not going to take long, but I'm just going to disagree with my brother Leroy, right? And everybody else who's been speaking. No, seriously, because my only issue is with this whole providership thing, right? As an African man. And he said it. Sorry, your name, my brother? Joel. And he said it. It's being a man and providing. Okay, let's take it back to pre-colonialism, right? I think we're all academics here. What women did was they plowed the fields. Are we agreed? Yes. Mm-hmm. So who actually fed the family? It was the women. Men, in terms of being a provider, was in terms of, and unfortunately we're very non-academic anymore. Jesus fucking Christ. Sorry to the Christians. The reason men were providers because they went to war. They fought. And they brought more people into the village and they went to hunt. That is what meant, you know, I mean, men were providers. Now to take it back to 2024 and I'm at 2000, being a provider means she sits at home and you just bring money, which is a very bad. But again, I'm just going to say, because I don't want to really take this too long, again, you've chosen the wrong person who doesn't understand what being a provider as a man is. I know my brother Prayer, like from back home and stuff, and we love to spoil our women. So when you go out and you kill a leopard, we don't eat leopard meat as African men. However, if your woman is wearing a leopard skin, it's like, oh, okay. He's the hunter. That dude got it, right? So it's about treating the people who you love with love, right? You go out there and you hustle for your person. It does not mean that your person just sits at home and waits for a Louis Vuitton bag. No. And I think that's the most unfortunate situation with a lot of relationships in Africa, right? Especially in Africa. The minute that a lot of my brothers here have traveled, you know, across the borders. But in Africa, unfortunately, it's so we're going out for drinks. Are you getting my Uber? I'm like, bro, really? You can't even bring yourself here? Like
Capitalism. Blame it on capitalism.
I mean,
bro.
I'll pay for dinner. I'll do everything else, but you can't bring yourself here. I'm done. Leroy, my bad.
Can you believe me?
COVID-19.
Ah, man.
All I have to say.
Hey, ladies are gonna think twice before they're like, yo, can you Uber? No, I'll meet you there. There's gonna be no ladies asking for Uber after this. All right, let's take it back to the table. And then just before we do carry on with the table, by the way, in front of you, you'll have, welcome, by the way. This is one of great gems of Zimbabwean talent, by the way. Great actress here, please. How are you? She's doubting me, so I'm giving her the credit. All right, so if you get one of these, please do fill it in. It's also to help us with the show, just to know exactly what you want us to talk about. And of course, we do want to have another live podcast like we're doing now. Let us know if you would come through for one as well. And how often do you think that we should do one of these kind of events? All right, let's take it back to the table at the top there.
All right. So I actually have a two-part question that I want to throw back to the crowd as well. I hope I'm audible. Can you hear me? All right. Louder.
Oh, can I just make a comment before you ask question?
All right.
I just wanted to say, firstly, thank you for being honest and being vulnerable. I think it's great because in the different perspectives and conversations, it becomes thought-provoking and it'll make for later conversations that you then have later. And it just becomes the learning and unlearning. And I think one of the big things that I would like to just reiterate is that everyone's situation is going to be different. Some men are going to do things a certain way. And it's always going to be about how the two of you relate. So I think one of the key things that you always need to take away from all of this is that the people who communicate the most usually have a more progressive and a more stable relationship, because both parties are actually being able to say, the reason why I'm like this is because of this. And then the other person responds to that, and then they always figure out a way. So the more you communicate, the more you're in touch with the other person, so you're able to learn. Like, I like what Tinashe said, because he said, for 7 years, I never really opened up until I realized I actually could open up, and she's genuinely interested in getting to know me, you know? And that, for me, is like a big thing, because I mean, so I'm like, for 7 years, bro, like, bored, you know what? You know, like, what were you, like, what was the level of connection? So for me, it means that there was a level of connection that started happening in year 7 that wasn't there. And it was just communication. So for me, when I listen to conversations like that, I'm like, that is big. Because it means that the ability to change the way you communicate can change the trajectory of your entire life. Because if you hadn't changed that, you might not still be together, you know? So I think that, for me, is great. And I really love the energy in the room. So, yeah, Tino, you can take it away, bro.
The motherland, the African man. Long as I'm alive, I'ma make a plan.